Hey Facebook friends and YouTube. Now I'm going to make a video about sloth, and I think my goal will be to make one video for each of the 7 deadly sins. So I made one for anger yesterday, and today maybe I'll do the rest. But okay, here's some verses about sloth, and here's some verses that I've never even read, so that will be interesting. Proverbs 13:4, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. So obviously a sluggard would be someone who just lays around, sleeps too much, doesn't work, isn't taking care of children, and doing nothing. Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent will rule, while the slothful will be put to forced labor. 2 Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, we would give you this command, if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. And I've always thought about that verse for why it's biblical to work. Some people, well, my mom had a friend where I think it was her son or something like that, that he was saying he was going to be homeless for Jesus. But yeah, that is biblical. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. So we have to work in order to eat. And there are different forms of work. That doesn't mean working at a job. If you're a stay-at-home mom, that's work, and you're maintaining your household, and you're being a full-time nanny. So it counts. All right, Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. Proverbs 15:19, the way of a sluggard is like a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. Ecclesiastes 10:18, through sloth the roof sinks in, and through indolence the house leaks. So if you don't maintain your house, your roof will get leaks. It's just an example. I mean, a lot of things can happen. Like you can have bugs invade your house if you don't vacuum once a week. Like seriously, bugs can get in under the baseboard and stuff. So you gotta remember to keep vacuuming. Oh yeah, this one's funny. Proverbs 24:30-34. I passed by the field of a sluggard, which I could kind of say I see that all around my neighborhood because a lot of people aren't mowing their lawns or pulling weeds, and it's very frustrating to see it, but whatever. I passed by the field of a sluggard, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense, and behold, it was all overgrown with thorns and weeds. The ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw and considered it. I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. That means that we should not ever sleep too much. I mean, obviously it's good. A human being typically needs around 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night, at least 7. But to sleep beyond that can be excessive, and it could qualify you as a sloth or a sluggard. Or 9, I guess 9 would be, anything over 9 would be overly excessive. Proverbs 21:25, the desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. All day long he craves and craves, but the righteous gives and does not hold back. Matthew 25:26, a parable that Jesus told. But his master answered him, you wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I scattered no seed. Romans 12:11, do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, serve the Lord. That's a good one. Do not be slothful in zeal. We should always have a fire and a zeal for God, and we should always be trying to serve God. Every day we should try and do something. I'm going to make one of these videos every day, but even if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's things you can do. You can do this, you can write. There's ways to serve God no matter what you're doing, and to keep a zeal for God. You just pray about it, whatever God would have you do. And this one is really good. Proverbs 6:6-8. Go to the ant, or look at the ant, O sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Without having any chief officer or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. that's kind of a verse about saving, like it's good to save money in the summer so that if there's scarcity in the winter, you will have something. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. It's also in Proverbs. The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. The sluggard says, there is a lion outside. I shall be killed in the streets. Like they're too scared to go anywhere. So they just sleep all day. Proverbs 20:13, love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will have plenty of bread. That's good. Whoever is slothful will not roast his game, but the diligent man will get precious wealth. Also in Proverbs. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? The sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. 1 Timothy 5:13, this is talking about widows. Besides that, they learn to be idlers, going about from house to house, and not only idlers, but also gossips and busybodies, saying what they should not. Yeah. So, those are all very good verses about why it's important to work, and I think I posted once about, is it a sin to have a messy house? Well, there you go. Those are all verses about why it's important to have a clean house. God does not want us to be a sluggard. We have time for what we want to have time for. So people might say, oh, I don't have time to clean my house. But if you have time to sit down and watch TV, you have time to clean your house. And it really doesn't take that long. I mean, vacuuming only takes like 20 minutes. Laundry takes like 20 minutes, especially if you don't fold stuff. Like, you don't have to. Anyways, I have a system where I don't fold things. I put them in the dresser, like laying them out, so I don't have to fold stuff, which doesn't take as long. And then sheets, you don't necessarily have to fold your sheets. You can just put them in like a wad in the closet. And I don't think that's being a sluggard. It's just a matter of convenience and saving time. But anyways, and then dishes, with dishwashers, that really doesn't take very long to load the dishwasher. So there is no excuse for anyone to have a messy house. No excuse. And then as far as stuff, I mean, seriously, I think that there's like a soul tie in my family of like being addicted to stuff and like loving stuff more than people. Like my grandma was a serious pack rat, and she would hoard all this stuff. And she didn't want to get rid of anything. She never wanted to throw anything away. And I think that's carried over, well, it certainly hasn't to me. And so I'm like the opposite. I am like always getting rid of stuff. Sometimes I regret it. I'll be like, oh, I got rid of that. But for the most part, I'm happy because my house is clean and, not as much stuff to manage. Like, why would you want to have a bunch of stuff to manage? That would just like be overwhelming. So anyways, my rule of thumb for myself is like, if I get an outfit or something, then I'll get rid of something. Or if I get shirts for my girls, then I'll get rid of some. So that helps for you to not feel overwhelmed. Because I think when people have too much stuff, then they feel overwhelmed and then they don't clean and then they turn into a sluggard or something. So anyways, let me pray for you guys. God, I pray for anyone watching this. I pray if they have a problem with not wanting to work, God, I pray that you will energize them with your Holy Spirit, God. Help them to believe that they can work hard. Give them the energy that they need. If it's a poor diet, God, I pray that they'll start eating vegetables and apples and bananas. And drink coffee, because I think coffee actually makes you smarter. And I pray that they will stop eating junk food for the most part. And maybe like 1 cookie a day. And I just pray that you will help them to not be slothful and to not love sleep. Help us all to not love sleep. And help us all to be disciplined and clean. And help us to be good stewards of our house, good stewards of our bodies. And to be disciplined and resourceful with the things that we have. And help us to not feel like we need to stockpile stuff. And help us to enjoy simplicity because it really is so much better to just live with a few things than to have tons of things, because then you just get stressed out. So I pray if anyone is watching this, if they have like tons of stuff, I pray that they will have the courage to get rid of stuff, and that they won't have fear of getting rid of stuff, and that they will be able to focus on you and love you more than they love their stuff. In Jesus' name, amen. May God bless you all. Have a great day.